Welcome to the Local Government Association of the Northern Territories induction video for newly elected members. This video will discuss who the Local Government Association of the Northern Territory is and what we do, some of the responsibilities amongst the three levels of government, what the council elected member roles are and the skills required, and the expectations that both the government and the public have in terms of the different relationships within council, your behaviour as an elected member under the Code of Conduct, and the types of commitments you will need to be mindful of. So who is LGANT? LGANT is the Local Government Association of the Northern Territory, which is a member organisation that has 17 member councils in the Northern Territory, as detailed in the map that you see. This map shows the different local government areas right throughout the Northern Territory and all the 17 member councils. The structure of local government is such that there are councils. There are local government associations in each state of Australia, as you can see by the map. And there's the Australian Local Government Association, also known as ALGA, which is based in Canberra. A look at all the local government areas throughout Australia shows how councils are positioned. If you travel anywhere in Australia, you'll be generally in a local government area with the exception of some of South Australia and some of New South Wales. In 2016, the Northern Territory had a population of approximately 245,000 people. If you look at the types of local governments, there are 2 cities in the Northern Territory compared to New South Wales, which has 26 cities. The Northern Territory has 9 regional councils and 3 shires. It also has most of its population in the 5 major municipal centres, those being Darwin, Palmerston, Litchfield, Katherine and Alice Springs. These hold approximately 170,000 out of the 245,000 people throughout the Northern Territory. The rest of the population resides in the 75 towns, many of them in the regional areas. So what does the Local Government Association of the Northern Territory do? LGANT supports its members in a number of ways. It provides training and advice and information through a number of publications and media. Some of these include our annual directory with council contacts and information, media releases, and our monthly newsletter. Governance training is offered for all council members and staff and includes a range of modules from roles and responsibilities, code of conduct, meeting procedures, and leadership and teamwork. LGANT also provides a research and policy development service for members in response to local, territory, and national issues, including changes proposed for legislation. Through collaboration, LGANT endeavours to get councils to work together in order to improve the way processes are done. LGANT provides advocacy and representation. Some of this representation is carried out on government committees. LGANT also carries out roadworks in local communities in regional areas. This includes the Roads to Recovery program. There are 3 levels of government that are responsible for a range of functions. The first level of government is the Australian government, also known as the Commonwealth or Federal Government. This level of government has approximately 40 areas they are responsible for, including defence, immigration, telecommunications and taxation. At the second level of government, the Northern Territory government, this level is responsible for also about 40 areas. This level is responsible for providing education in schools, health and hospitals, essential services like power and water, police, fire and emergency services. The third level of government is the local government level or councils, and is responsible for providing services such as waste management, roads and employment, community safety, sport and recreation, to name a few. These 3 levels make up the whole of government in the Northern Territory. All 3 levels of government exist in all states of Australia. In the regional areas of the Northern Territory, there are the local authorities. Local authorities are committees that work with both the government and the community. This level of government assists councils in making the best decisions for people in remote regions and are the voice. The council and the local authorities are made up by members of the community. So what is the role of any one council? Under the Local Government Act, council is responsible for protecting communities from hazards and managing their risks. In order to reduce the effect of hazards such as weather, pollution or waste, systems need to be put in place to protect the environment and ultimately the community. Emergency management might be one example of this. Another role of council is to provide for the interests and the well-being of community residents. This means they need to represent the interests of the area and the wider community. This might involve policies concerning waste and animal management or implementing sport and recreational programs. Another role of council is to provide, coordinate and manage services and facilities for all the residents and all the visitors in the region. This needs to be appropriate to the needs of the people to ensure equal access to its services and facilities and programs such as aged, childcare or youth services. Council is also responsible for planning for the future and encourage and develop the area and improve the quality of life. Council needs to consider financial resources in order to ensure that they are stretched further enough into the future. See your strategic, municipal or regional management plans to find out more about what your council does to plan for the future. Visit your council website for details on these plans. Manage infrastructure sustainably. This means that councils have to maintain infrastructure such as local roads, drainage, street lights, footpaths and street furniture. Finally, council has to work with other levels of government, community organisations and contractors. Every 4 years there is a local government election. In the council there may be between 5 or 15 members. The principal member of the council is either the mayor or the president, and this role is somewhat different than that of the other elected members. The mayor or the president is either elected by the residents or voted in by the other elected members. The principal member acts as the chair for council meetings and also carries out official duties and ceremonial activities such as citizenship ceremonies. Other official duties of the mayor or president include being the spokesperson to the media. Under Section 4 of the Local Government Act, the rule book for local government, the role of an elected member is made clear. These roles involve representing the interests of all the residents and the ratepayers in the region, not just one ward or one suburb. It involves providing leadership and guidance. And think about what this means to you. An elected member needs to make decisions that are good for everybody. This means participating in discussions and debates in council meetings and being involved in community activities. This is a balancing act. It means making decisions that are in the best interests of everybody. People may not like the decisions, you may not like it, but it means making the decisions that are right for all. The CEO is responsible for ensuring that the right information reaches council to ensure that proper decision making can take place. This right information gets to you before a meeting in the form of an agenda, and it's your responsibility as an elected member to understand the agenda and the reports before you come to the meeting. So it's vital you read and understand and ask questions about the information before a council meeting. Decisions are made by a majority of all the members. A quorum is required in order to vote on decisions. Councillors need to be able to communicate clearly and concisely. Answering questions that your community asks will be some of these responsibilities. You need to also be prepared to ask questions if you don't understand or know something. It is your right, it is your responsibility to ask these questions. As an elected member, you must communicate clearly and you need to represent all people, and some of this may be done on committees and advisory groups. In regional councils, you're also in the role of an elected member, but also a local authority member. So what kinds of things should you communicate to the community about? You need to communicate on council plans, policies, and the decisions that are made. As a newly elected member, it is important to understand the different roles between a councillor and staff. Councillors cannot manage staff. Under the Local Government Act, a member has no power to direct or control staff or to interfere with the management of staff, as this is the job of the CEO. In order to understand your respective roles, the councillors make the strategic decisions by approving plans, budgets, policies and delegating to the CEO. The CEO carries out the operational parts of council decisions and delegates to his management or management's administrative staff. The CEO oversees the function of the staff. The CEO ensures his staff or her staff work together to prepare the necessary plans, reports and agendas for council to consider and make the right decisions on. The staff then carry these decisions out. Councillors need to know that they are not to jump over the line. If this is understood, then the separation of roles or powers removes the need for council members to become involved in administrative matters. Then they can determine strategic directions for the community. It ensures that council members do not place themselves in a position where they could be seen to be taking advantage of their position or authority, and ensures the integrity of council. As a council member are concerned about anything to do with the staff, you must speak to the CEO, who will deal with them then. Effective teamwork develops if everyone understands these roles and these responsibilities. Your council will have a code of conduct that you must follow. Under the Local Government Act, a code of conduct is designed to regulate a member's behaviours and ensure that the council acts honestly, efficiently and appropriately in carrying out its responsibilities. The community can place trust in the members then that represent them at the local government level. Members should then behave in a way that generates community trust and confidence in both the member and the council. Behaving in a manner that maintains and enhances the image of a council ensures that it doesn't reflect adversely or against the council. So remembering that what you say privately and publicly will be scrutinised this whole time. As well, it includes the use of social media and access to the media. Be sure to read your council policies so that you know how this is implemented. Finally, a councillor needs to work together as a team, making a collective decision as a whole and not individually. Understanding people dynamics and working with diversity will help you be able to resolve conflict and make decisions in the best interest of the community. If you disagree with them, then you have to be diplomatic about how your decisions or your opinions are projected to the rest of the community. This is what being a leader is about. So remember, the community will judge a council according to its perception of the behaviour and the image of individual members and staff. One of the major factors leading to councils to fail throughout Australia is conflict and bad behaviour amongst elected members and staff. Members will be asked to declare their conflicts of interest at the beginning of meetings or upon the swearing-in ceremony, and some will be asked to sign a declaration of conflict of interest. A member of council has a duty to act in what the member genuinely believes to be in the best interests of the council and the community. And despite the fact that members come on board as a councillor, you are not just a councillor. You may have other roles and other positions on boards and committees that may come in conflict at some point while you're making decisions in council. So you need to manage and ensure that they don't come in conflict between a council's interests and a member's interests. Think about the different hats you might wear and what your personal and family or financial interests may be. If you must make a choice, you must consider the interests of a council when it comes to making a council decision. A golden rule: if you are ever in doubt, declare a conflict of interest. An elected member needs to come to the role with a number of skill sets. Two of these include people skills and business skills. People skills include working together as a team, understanding what leadership is, and being able to manage relationships within council and outside of council, with all stakeholders, not just with those within the community. Business skills include understanding the planning and financial management of council, understanding about income and revenue, and the importance about expenditure balancing with that revenue. Business skills also includes governance, and this means good decision making, knowing the rules, the roles, and the processes involved in good decision making. Finally, elected member skill sets involve environment and asset management. Council has a number of environmental matters it needs to look after properly, including parks and gardens, waste management facilities, as well as a large number of assets that has to take care of buildings, plant equipment, and infrastructure. When you get on board as a councillor, there are a number of commitments. They will take some time away from your work and time away from your family. Other commitments involve learning, and learning can happen in a number of ways. It's important to develop yourself on a professional basis because you will more than likely come into the role having to learn new things. Reading, courses, seminars, conferences, and online learning. It's important to develop yourself, and asking lots of questions is one important way to learn. Commitments with meetings will take some time. Reading agendas and reports will help you contribute better in the decision-making process. Ordinary council meetings may be from once a month or every 2 months, depending on whether you are a municipal or regional council. Other meetings you may need to be attending could include financial, special meetings, or confidential meetings. Other meetings might also include committee meetings. All meetings are open to the public apart from the confidential meetings, so members' behaviours will be scrutinised throughout the decision-making process by members of the public. If people don't turn up to meetings, then quorums can't be met. When quorums aren't met, decisions can't be made. So be sure to commit to attending to all meetings as much as possible. For your time and your efforts, you will receive an allowance. This allowance is clearly spelt out in Guideline 2, where councillors are paid allowance and reimbursed for related council expenses, which includes training. You're encouraged to go onto your council website and research all relevant documents available. Legant assists councils as much as possible, including elected members. The Why Council Stand Up for Your Community publication is a vital source of information and can be accessed on our website under our media quick links. Our website is www.lgant.asn.au.